So epic.
What's up, everybody? It's your favorite show, Get a Bucket. I'm your host, Train, as usual. Hope you're all having a wonderful day. And oh my God. And as you can see here, we got my guy, Mark. How's everything going with you, boss?
No day, no dollar. Happy to be here,
I feel that. I swear, every time we talk, that's all you say.
bro. Because that's just
Never
all I
day.
feel, bro. Every day's the same around here. As long as I got one foot, above ground, I'm out here making it, man. I'm out here making it.
Nah, I feel that. It's kind of sad because I feel like adulting is always just, hey, I'm going to take it one day at a time. Like, I keep saying the same thing to people.
Yeah, bro. I be stressed as fuck in the morning, just looking like, man, why I gotta be like this? I wish somebody told me this shit.
I mean, to be fair, hey, I remember growing up, people said, "Look, you don't rush growing up," and I'm like, being a kid is kind of ass. And now it's like, you know what? Sometimes being a kid might not be a bad thing. I ain't mad at it, but I ain't, adult is not too bad. I do get to enjoy a lot. Yeah, I get a lot more things, such as the number one draft pick. Um, Mark, let me ask you real quick, right? I got just not even who you picking, not even who you picking. I got four people as a possible candidate. I got Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud, Anthony Richardson, and Will Anderson Jr. All right, right. So here's my thing. Let's go down the list just real quick. Pros and cons. Bryce Young. Why should I draft him? And then why should I not draft him?
You should draft Bryce Young based on just the ability to win, get the job done. I mean, that's something. That's the intangibles. That's one of the things that every quarterback needs. That's what gets it done when the level of competition in the NFL is a razor thin line. Why you shouldn't draft them is at the same time he played at Alabama. They're not the powerhouse that the super steamroller they used to be. However, they're always due to be respected. So they got that top talent across the board. So is it the talent around them or is it him? That question mark always comes when it comes to Alabama QBs.
Okay, I got you. Now, CJ Stroud, and just to clarify too, if you got anybody else to add, we'll do that at the end of this too, of these four people as well. So, CJ Stroud, what's your pros and cons for him? Why should I draft him? Why shouldn't we draft him?
One reason to draft, he makes the right reads. That is important. So if you show an ability to do that at the college level, then often that translates into the NFL level. And so if somebody, and he played in a big conference, while it wasn't the SEC, it's still a respectable conference. So you have that. Why you shouldn't? To me, I need a little bit more tape on him. Because what I say is the ability to adapt and adjust. I didn't really see a whole lot of that.
Okay, when you say ability to adapt, you mean in terms of the rosters?
Yeah. So
Gotcha.
make maximizing what you have. For instance, there's a wide receiver getting ready to be drafted. Uh, I forgot his name. I know his last name is Njigba or something like that. He was more
Okay.
productive than the other receiver. The other two receivers that were drafted in the draft prior. So then like how are you adjusting to your roster? So that's something that I would be on the lookout for.
Okay, got you. Now Anthony Richardson. Why should I draft him? Why shouldn't we draft him? Talk to me.
I'm based in Florida. Watch the games. Why you should? He's an athletic specimen. There's something you can get out of him. Why you shouldn't? Honestly, he needs in my opinion, a little bit more seasoning behind, like a nice. If you have a QB already in line, or somebody that can teach him some of the nuances of passing, maybe touch passing or reading the defense or things that like to not just automatically take off and run when the times get hard or something like that. I think he would be, amazing. I wouldn't honestly, I wouldn't use a first pick on him. However, like, if he's available late first round, early second round, that'd be the best way to do it. I mean, because you can see he has a little bit of seasoning from the passing perspective. From the athletic perspective, he's an Adonis, man. Like there's nothing more you can say about him.
Okay. So it sounds like just needs a little fine tuning, but he's that freak of nature athlete that like people tend to look for. Okay, I got you. And then Will Anderson Jr. Now again, this is the first defensive and really the only defensive player on the list, unless you got someone else to add. So, why should we draft him? Why shouldn't we draft him?
He's a D lineman, right? Or is he the
linebacker, edge rusher out of Alabama?
Okay, so when it comes to that, you see how the NFL is. There, you always need a premium of edge rushers. If you can rush the quarterback, there's a job for you. No matter how big or how small. I mean, we think about Michael Parsons. Michael Parsons is only 240. Yet Dan Quinn primarily kind of uses him as a defensive end. You know what I mean? So if you, that skill is something that can be taught to a degree, but it's mostly honed. That's why you don't really have a lot of phenoms that come in on that first year. They have to be seasoned. You know what I mean? It takes a little while to develop, so if he comes in already with those skills, you just got to spin. You got to spin it. I wouldn't say first overall, because I feel like that, there might be, other needs, but if you're not a QB needy team, then yeah, why not?
Okay. And again, he's about 6'4", 260, ran a 4.6. So I mean 4.65 if I'm not mistaken. So I mean it's not bad numbers. Now, we listed all four of those guys. Was there anybody else that you would think we need to consider, or is that four considered good enough?
I say that's good. I say that's
good. Okay. Now, if you had to choose, then right, who would you go with?
I mean, if I'm the Cowboys.
No. You're my Panthers. You're me right now.
Okay.
You're the Panthers. Yeah.
Who's you guys' QB again? Then you need a QB, so we can start there.
I mean, we got like a couple of people, but like realistically, we're looking to draft a QB at number one, ideally, unless the
CJ Stroud. I go CJ Stroud.
So CJ, what separates CJ over again? I think the consensus is Bryce Young was the better QB talent, quarterback wise. Just he's shorter. I know Stroud had Marvin Harrison Jr. and then Anthony Richardson, like you say, he's that I don't want to say generational talent, but he's a freak of nature. He looks like Cam Newton. The boy showed out and really came onto the radar at the draft combine. But to your point, he didn't really have the success over in Florida. I also could ask, all right, well, maybe that's his roster, but another day for another discussion.
We can have a little bit of that discussion here. I mean, I've watched the game.
We still got to talk about your boys, so.
Okay, all right. Well, yeah, that is a topic for another discussion. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm with you. Part of that could have been that roster construction, because some of the things that I saw, with wide receivers and stuff. Yeah, but at the same time, I've also seen just some crazy passes, that, just set your feet up. Okay, take a second and read the defense. That's just a cover 3 shell. Why, certain things that I, as just an armchair QB, was like, hey, why did you do that? And then you see the ball.
You feel like he's not coachable enough?
I wouldn't say coachable, because coachable is attitude. You know what I mean? But I would say there's some things that need fine tuning in order to merit a number one overall. When you're number one overall, you want to plug and play, like legitimately plug and play and get positive results. You don't really want to go through a number one pick and then you end up being the Detroit Lions prior to this year. The Detroit Lions, you know what I mean?
Okay. I can understand that. So sounds like CJ is the safest pick then for you?
To me,
in terms of plug and play. See, I go Anthony Richardson. I made a video about this before. I feel like Anthony Richardson, again, reminds me of Cam Newton. When I look at the game of football, I feel like whoever's that freak of nature athlete, that's the guy to get. And I remember Cam Newton, he wasn't pegged as the best QB. Now, to be fair, stats-wise, Cam Newton blew out Anthony Richardson from a TD and INT perspective. Got more yards. I do hear that. But I also saw some struggles in Cam's game, and we were able to fine tune that a little bit. So if we can get any sort of production from Anthony Richardson, similarly to that, I think the boy could be special. And again, like I said, he got that athletic ability that a lot of people covet, and I don't think we would be able to get him by our next draft pick. So it's like I would have to consider taking him for that number one pick. I do understand though it's hella risky, and my job is really on the line. But I got to take that risk though, because again, how many people do you see out here walking around like him? Like I'm sure a lot of teams are looking down like we should have drafted Lamar Jackson. You know what I'm saying? Like
Big fact, but also scouting has evolved too. I mean, when Lamar came in, you still had a lot of people in that old mindset. They wanted to make him a wide receiver or just peg him as an athlete and all of that. The minds have started to change, where you kind of got that old generation mindset kind of like dying off, where those same stereotypes and stigmas really aren't there. The boy can make a play, we want. Conversely, at this position, hold on. One caveat though. Conversely, at this one position, though, you still will have to be able to read a defense.
Okay. Do you feel like you can teach him to read a defense a little bit better when he gets to the NFL? Maybe it was the coaching at Florida, because I mean I haven't really heard Florida too much recently. Like maybe once a little while ago. But
yeah, they've been doing too hot. But you could, but at the same time, you got to think. Yes, you're a generational talent when it comes to the athleticism, but everybody's athletic in the NFL. You get what I'm saying? Like, no, don't get like I'm not taking.
I get what you're saying, though. I get what you're saying. I'm just
no, look, man. I'm not taking nothing away from him. I wish I could do some of these things, but I can't. But long story short, the separation, the talent separation is different in the NFL. You know what I mean? So you'll get somebody your same size, defensive end, and you think you're just about to take off, and that this doesn't happen. Like you can't just rely on just your God-given abilities in the NFL. You have to learn how to adapt and read a defense. Right. And the thing about NFL defense is they're constantly evolving. Whereas I feel like, and this is my opinion, whereas the offense, like new things happen, but it takes a while to adopt. And once they adopt it, it's the same thing over. For instance, when the Wildcat took Storm, okay, at first everyone's throwing off. Then next thing you know, everyone's using it or trying to counteract it. With defense, it's like responding in real time. So, okay, if we're in the same division as Anthony Richardson, what's the first thing I'm going to do? First thing I'm going to do is draft speed. That's just the first thing I'm going to do as a defensive coordinator. Draft speed, because speed can counteract it. In the NFL, if he runs a 4.5 and I got a corner that's willing to, you wouldn't get a pansy corner, but if you got corners and linebackers still just willing to stand them up, then you're forced to throw, and this is one of your like acute weaknesses.
I mean, I don't know. Relying on corners to me.
No. What I'm saying, that's an example. Like you can say the same thing with the hybrid linebackers, bro. Like when it comes to defense, you have to respond in real time or get torched. Whereas with offense, it's like, okay, hey man, we found this new thing. Oh, okay, the Wildcat. Now everyone wants to use the Wildcat. Whereas defense, you gotta just, okay, well, this man, he came out in trips, but then it's like some type of fake screen, some type of weird shit. Then on this side, we have to respond to it, or we're gonna get torched all game. And then the next person will look at that, know they don't have the personnel to run that, so then that defensive coordinator has to switch up some things. So that's what I'm saying. Like, hey man, it's an interesting time though. I will say.
Yeah, all I know is whoever we pick at number one, I'm expecting at least 3 postseason berths and a Super Bowl appearance, because that's what our last top 2 picks have done. Which, mind you, we only got 2 of them: Julius Peppers and Cam Newton. Hence why I said I want Anthony Richardson. You know what I'm saying? Like, and look, Mark, I hear you. I'm probably gonna be on the hot seat. I understand that. Kind of like,
I can't risk my job for nobody else, dog.
Like, I can risk my job for this, because that brother looks special. But look, speaking of coaches and hot seats, right, Mark? I greatly appreciate the conversation, my boy. This was a good one. I got to say, I was a little disappointed when when you was going at my man Anthony Richardson. I hope this brother gets the #1 pick for my Panthers this year, man.
Bruh,
Like, if
it's
we
not even
take
like
y'all,
that,
man,
man.
listen, bro. I don't think you understand the level of severity I'm about to text and call your ass if we pick C.J. Stroud and this man is ass. Like, what?
Nah, man,
Oh
he's gonna
my
be sick,
god.
bro. He's the safest pick. Like, I think about it. If my job's on the line, I'm gonna do the thing that keeps me and my family fed. I mean, it's such thing as a boom and bust prospect, and that's true. But that's not what you don't want the boom and bust with your first pick.
I
Like,
don't know, because
that's
some people tried to say Cam was a boomer bust, and that brother boomed
no,
for
but
us
like
real
people
well.
already knew that Cam was still gonna do something. Like, you know what I mean? Because he did it at the
Because he
at
won the natty there.
level.
All that, yeah.
I mean, Anthony Richardson kind of didn't do that for Florida. You know, that's all I'm saying.
I hear that. I hear that. That is something that I look at. And like I said, I'm not the biggest Florida fan, so I didn't really study it. The team.
The
Buddy
team
just
was
came on
big.
my
That team was
Buddy
big.
just came on my roster, like on my radar, not too long ago. Like I remember a couple months ago, I was talking to both you and Sebastian at different times about like Bryce Young versus C.J. Stroud. They've been in the mix for the longest, so I understand why they pick them. It's just this man looks phenomenal on the field. I don't know what to tell you. Like he looks like he's a butt.
Man. Like,
but hey, I will say I'll listen to you because you know you study football more than me. So we'll definitely see what happens at the draft. We can cover it or like talk or do a recap about another time. So,
right.
do you have anything you want to say for you before we head off?
Nah, man, just thanks for having me. It's always a pleasure, to chop it up, and do the talking. Like I say, you out in Houston, be safe. Be head on the swivel, enjoy yourself, ball out.
Oh, definitely. I'll definitely get some videos and hopefully you guys will see it. Hopefully it'll be a good video. So I'll be safe out there, boss. But look, have a good one, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you all stay tuned. Until next time, take care.
Oh, I did not know you guys were still here. As you can see, we're at the back end of the show. No pun intended, but look, hope you all enjoyed it. And before you go, please subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow the IG account, share the content to anybody who's anybody. And most importantly, leave your thoughts and comments below. But I gotta go back and play Buddy in 2K, so let me unmute him real quick. Excuse me. Hey, boss, I'm back. Nah, you better catch this word. You know we get buckets around here, too.